What is up, guys? It's the Redstone Scientist here, and I'm face-to-face with my audience for the first time ever. Hi, how are you? How are the kids? Listen, don't click away yet, because I've got some pretty major stuff to talk about. I'm going to start out with a Wesley announcement, and then talk about where TRS and the channel are going next. If you don't know what Wesley is, click the card on screen now, and I recorded a separate video to explain it. Now, I know everyone is not going to want to watch this whole video, so I'll just cut right to the chase, and then if you stick around, I'll go into more detail. Cool? Okay, so I've got good news and bad news. The bad news. Wesley in Minecraft will only be produced up to most, or all, of Act 1, and it'll be in 1.12. The good news. The good news is, first off, we are pulling back the curtain of secrecy on our Minecraft technology for Wesley, and it's going to be coming to you very soon. But Wesley as a project is far from over. You think we'd give up that easily? I'm proud to announce today our intention to produce Wesley as a standalone indie game in association with Everbloom Studios, which we'll talk more about later. So we're looking at a few options right now. First, we're going to pitch it to a couple of game studios that I won't say the names of right now, but I've got a whole list of companies who could be candidates for it. If that all fails, Everbloom Studios will be producing Wesley as its own indie game project, most likely on Unreal Engine, although nothing is set in stone. Now, there's a lot of reasoning behind this and a lot of other things I'd like to share with you guys, but those are just the headlines. So if you'd like to learn more, stick around. Okay, so that was where my script ended, so I'm sort of going to go off the cuff for the rest of this. So I guess we should begin at the Marketplace meetup. So for those of you who don't know, I have started doing map making in Bedrock for Everbloom Studios. We've got the Minecraft Marketplace. I don't think I need to explain what that is. And fantastic program, really is. But we did a Marketplace meetup. I'm the gameplay lead and project manager so I'm part of management of Everbloom Studios, which is the name of the company. It used to be a build team. Now we're a map making team. That we applied for the Marketplace. Our first map should be coming out November 21st. Anyway, the Marketplace meetup happened in London, and I sort of decided last minute that I wanted to go. I was feeling left out, everybody was going, and I thought it was time to come out of the dark. So I flew to London, and it was a very, very long journey. I can't talk about what we talked about, because we're not allowed to, but I can tell you the night before the main event, we had a dinner, and I think pretty much everybody was there, with a few exceptions. It was a fantastic experience. I got to meet people I've been following for years. I had a lot of people say, "Where's TRS? I got to meet TRS," and that was pretty cool. I don't drink normally because I'm not of the age in the United States, but in London it's 18, so I had more wine than I am used to. And everybody, was sort of opening up, and it was getting really late. And I was talking to Noxite. Noxite was there, who is the CEO, I believe, of the Nox crew, whatever. He's the leader of the Nox crew. And who's somebody I've respected very much for a long time. And we had a conversation, and he told me some things that I think I really needed to hear. Some hard truths that I needed to hear. And I think the conversation started with, he was asking me, so I've been hearing about Wesley, and I don't understand. Can you explain to me why it takes so long? Like, I understand you keep saying, oh, it's going to take a long time, but like, why? Like, tell me about the process. Why is it going to take so long? And so I explained the animation process. I explained how we have spent 3 years on tools, spreadsheets, and generators, and all this stuff to make our lives easier, to be able to produce this stuff in mass. And I explained that although it makes, it cuts about 80% of our work, it's still a lot of work. And I compared it to, this is going to sound like a weird analogy, but I used to have, or I had when I was a kid, I had the Shrek DVD for the first Shrek. And on there was a behind-the-scenes thing. And keep in mind, Shrek was one of the earlier movies that popularized animated CGI for family movies, along with Toy Story. And so I remember watching the behind the scenes, and they were talking about how they made the animation. And they had these enormous rooms full of like processors. I don't remember what year this was, full of processors. And they were saying like how it took, all these hours to do 4 seconds of Shrek's animation. They showed him like blinking or smiling. And how much effort that was. And, you know, today we can do that like that, right? You know, our technology's improved so much. And so making this in Minecraft, I feel like, I sort of feel like the Shrek guys. I feel like we're reinventing the wheel here because we're trying to do something that all these other technologies already are able to do, you know, produce animation. And we're sort of having to start from scratch. We're having to start from that enormous room. You know, it feels like we're starting with the computer that takes up a whole room, right, in terms of time investment. And even with our tools that we've created, it still takes a long time, and it's pretty tedious. But we're really confident in our story, and we really want to tell this story. And so I explained to Noxite that we really have two goals with this project. The first goal is we want to further the map-making community. We want to show that mature stories can be told. We want to show that there really is no limit to what you can accomplish, that it is possible to create projects on a large scale, that you can, and most of all, that we provide the community with these tools that we've created to create Wesley-like experiences of their own, to provide these tools for everyone to use for themselves. And our second goal is to tell a story that we care very deeply about, and for it not to fall on deaf ears, so to speak. And I think what I started to realize as I was talking to him was those two goals were ending up in conflict with each other. And what I mean by that is, in our effort to produce this technology, or rather in our effort to tell this story, the fact that we've chosen Minecraft as our medium to tell this story means that we had to spend all this time on the technology, and it means that what normally, you know, in another game engine like Unreal would be so much faster, we've got to put in all that extra time in Wesley. And so we are being prevented from telling our story the way we want to tell it, to the fullest extent that we want to tell it, because of the limitations of the technology, because of that first goal of innovation in technology. And so, to be blunt, basically what Noxite told me was, get over yourself. Like, I don't know if I agree with him on this point, but he said, if it's taking you longer than a AAA game studio to produce a game, you know you're doing something wrong. Now, I'm not going to get into the discussion of whether or not I agree with that, but his point is well taken, that as the lead director of Wesley and, you know, one of the conceivers of it, I want so badly to tell this story and to do it justice, but it's so limiting, right? You know, my career has got to move on. I've got to be able to make other things. And it's as much as, and I told him, look, you know, I realize that people are not going to be playing this as much when it actually comes out because the whole audience will have moved on by then. Java Minecraft's probably going to be dead by then. And he said, like, get over yourself. Like, I get that it's a passion project and everything, but you've got to move on. Like, you've got to do other things. You've got to be able to tell the story and get it out. And he told me this story about when the Nox crew was first starting out. And I don't remember what it's called, but they first formed because, and apologies Noxite or anybody in the Nox crew if I'm not telling the story correctly, I'm just paraphrasing here, that they started out with a goal of making the largest RPG map in Minecraft ever, with, you know, dense quests and storylines and so forth. And it was all volunteer because, you know, no one was getting paid at that time. And so eventually they'd been working, I think he said like 3 or 4 months on it, or no, 7 months on it, I think. And Noxite said I had to make a decision, that I had to say, look, everybody, if we're going to be successful, we're going to be able to do other things and actually make people care about this, we've just got to get it out there. So we're cutting back our vision significantly and ended up releasing, I think it's called Paladin's Quest. But anyway, that was the result of it. And so he made that command decision, which ended up sort of launching Nox Crew on the path to being Nox Crew. And I said, I understand that, and I know that, like, like, people have been telling me, even in the Wesley team, like, other actors have been telling me, hey, you know, you're putting so much effort into this, so much work into it, like, why don't you make it outside of Minecraft? Like, it just seems like a natural thing to do. I have been sort of unable to let go of my emotional attachment to this project to say, look, it's more important that we accomplish each of our goals than have to sacrifice a little bit of both of them. So that's number one, the idea of the time investment, right? And that's one reason why I want to move it over to a normal indie game as opposed to a Minecraft map, is the conflicts of those goals in terms of time. So that's number one. Number two, think about the average player, right? When they go to play a map, they're not expecting a R-rated, deeply psychological, transformative story, right? They're not expecting, like, yeah, we're trying to push the limits of the emotions that we can elicit in Minecraft, but a story that we've put so much time and effort into an already existing audience of people who are into mature games, people who are into stuff like The Walking Dead by Telltale, right? There's already an audience for that. And there's already a group of people who will hear our story gladly if we just give it to them. But we've got this extra layer to go through for Minecraft to say, hey, so we're innovating this thing. It's going to take many, many years. And really only some of you are actually going to want to play it. Like, and I mean, no disrespect to the Minecraft community, because I love you guys. But the fact of the matter is, right, it's a certain age group is the most dominant group of Minecraft. And it's just not the way the medium is going right now. So that's number two, is I want to do this story justice. We put all this time into it, and I want to do it justice. I'm sure there's like a lot of other things I wanted to talk about in regards to why I want to make this move. Thinking back, I think that's really what was blocking me all along from making what I think is now the right decision, is my ego being unable to say, everyone was like, we can't do this. Like, you can't do this in Minecraft. And we're like, yes, we can. And just watch how long it's going to take us. And we're not going to lose motivation. And like, we haven't lost motivation for Wesley. We've sort of lost motivation from Minecraft with Wesley. And so I've been unable to let go of this heroic goal of, we are going to do what has never been done before in Minecraft. And I need to let that go. So I appreciate, Noxide, if you're watching this, I really appreciate what you told me, because I think it's something I really needed to hear from someone that I really respected. Because people have been telling me this, as I said. I'll move on to what the production of Wesley is going to look like. So it's going to be an Everbloom concern, meaning Everbloom Studios, who is the studio that I'm making stuff with in Bedrock right now, we also plan to become, a more fully developed gaming company, game studio. And it's going to be an Everbloom IP, basically. And we've got a couple of ideas. We're going to bring it to some game studios, see what they think about it, see if they want to collaborate on it. And really, ultimately, probably the most likely outcome is that we're going to sort of use our own in-house resources to develop it ourselves. Now, I realize that that's sort of a contradiction in terms of time, because I said that we don't want to take years to make it. It's probably going to be a few years till we really get this project going, because we simply don't have the resources at this point to do it. But it does ensure the security of this IP in the sense that we've got the script, we've got voice actors, we've got lines, and we've got like models for things. And so it ensures the IP of it in terms of like, yeah, we're going to be making games. We know that. That's a given. So we've already got this thing in our back pocket, and we're ready to deploy it as soon as we've got the resources. That's my reasoning anyway. So in terms of what's going to happen to the Wesley team, if you're on the Wesley team and you're watching this, we still need you. And fans, we still need your support through all of this, just like we always need your support. I realize we're probably going to lose people because it's no longer a Minecraft thing, but I hope that we'll retain people for people who really care about the story and what we're trying to do. And as I said, we're going to pull back the curtain, so I'm going to explain more of the Wesley story in some future videos. And so that's what's going to be happening with Wesley as an IP. But what's going to happen to the stuff that we've made in Minecraft? All this huge gigabytes of stuff that we've been working on. As I said at the beginning, you're going to be getting it all. I'm going to be making a in-depth tutorial series, behind-the-scenes series, all the things we've done on Wesley, how it all works, how you can use it yourself, and how you can make your own Wesley kind of experiences, how you can use our animation system. So be looking forward to that. So that will come much sooner than if we had waited to create all of Wesley. We're still going to be trying to do Act 1 so that we can get sort of a demo out there of what the technology can do. back to what I was saying about the Wesley team, right? We still need you guys. Builders in Minecraft are still valuable to model environments because Minecraft is a great resource for modeling an environment, for creating a prototype, right? We still need you guys. Also, we need you guys for concepts. Modelers, now there's a very big difference between modeling for Minecraft and modeling for other video games and other engines. But I know that a lot of the modelers on the team have either experience in other video game modeling or are interested in getting into it. So, you know, we're still going to need you guys to create models for it. We're going to need, I will fight tooth and nail to keep the voice actors that we have, to keep going with that, because I love our cast. I love our cast. We have an amazing cast, and I've got some great performances that are sort of just waiting to be edited, and I don't want to lose those. And I also don't want their work to go to waste. I don't want anybody's work to go to waste, which is why we still need you, because we're still going to be using these assets, right? We're using them. You helped to create this project. I want to close the Wesley chapter of this video by saying that I really appreciate all of you and all of the stuff that you've poured into, your care and love that you've poured into this project, and let me know how much it means to you and how excited you are for it. People telling me, I don't care if it takes 15 years, I'll be playing it. Yeah, that's probably not true, but I appreciate the sentiment either way. The people who have been supporting my channel from the beginning, the people who have been, even in minor ways, supporting my creative endeavors, as well as my friends' creative endeavors, Red and Dragon. If you don't know, Dragon is pulled out as a director of Wesley. Red is still going to be my partner in crime for the Wesley IP. But I don't know how to put it into words, but I'm extending a thank you. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do a face reveal with this video, is that I wanted it to be intimate and personal. I wanted to let you guys know how much I appreciate you and how much I appreciate your support. And I hope that we don't lose that, because we're going to need it as we venture into this uncharted territory for us. Let's move on to stuff about my channel. They're just really quickly. Everbloom Studios I see as being a very long-term thing, as you probably figured. I'm in the management. I do a lot of operational stuff too, as well as manage the teams for gameplay and so forth. YouTube, as like Minecraft YouTube, is probably done. After the Wesley series, after the Wesley thing, it's probably done. Like, I have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do, but the amount of time it takes to produce these maps, right? And map making is really my passion more than YouTube is. I have like a TRS's world that's unfinished. It's been sitting around for like a year. So I need to do that. Saved YouTube's gems. I've stopped adding stuff to that series. I may someday do like a sum up video where I actually, in one episode, go through all the rest of the videos and for the rest of the save folder. Mastering Minecraft, no question, is gone. I mean, that's been that way for a while. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm excited to find out. And I hope that you guys will come along this journey with me, because I want to make games and I want to make experiences. I want to tell meaningful stories. And I'm going to stop talking. I'm not going away, don't worry. But the heyday of my channel is definitely over. But the heyday of Wesley is just beginning. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.